Happy Monday. All right. My name is Shannon Sims. I'm going to take you through a guided meditation today. And today is on limiting beliefs. And I want to tell you a little story. So, a humane way, or a way that would not harm the monkeys in India, how they used to try to capture the monkeys is they would get cages, and what they would do is they would put bananas inside the cages. Now the monkeys, loving bananas and being curious by nature, would reach their arms through the bar. They would grab on to the bananas and they wouldn't let it go. Now, they tried, they couldn't get it out of the cage, but they wouldn't let go of the banana. So even when the men came in, the monkeys saw the men, and they could have let go of the bananas at any time and run away. And the men would not have been able to catch them because monkeys are very fast, but they wouldn't let go. They held on to the bananas. They held on to this possession, and it ended up being, the end of their freedom. And a lot of us are holding on to things. Sometimes it is a possession. Sometimes it's a way of life. Sometimes it's a belief. And so today I'm going to talk about limiting beliefs. And a lot of us hold on to these beliefs as though they're facts. And I always choose a thought for today. And today's thought of the day is: a thought is not a fact. It's just a thought. And a lot of times, even when we get reassurances that, oh, this is true, this is a problem, it's not necessarily a fact. It's a fact maybe as the information that's available right now, until somebody else gets new information, then it's no longer a fact. So a limiting belief can be anything that's holding us back, anything that's imprisoning us. It can be a belief about myself. It can be a belief about my family. It can be my economics. It can be how I was raised, that I am not intelligent enough to do something. I'm too old to do something. I have an injury that prevents me from doing something. Anything that holds me back. And there are a couple of different steps that we can go through on starting to let go of our limiting beliefs, and how we come into a place where we're not going to be imprisoned anymore. Because all a limiting belief does is hold us back from being everything that we could possibly be. And when we fight for our limitations, we get to keep what's behind it. So if I'm fighting for the fact that I, have bad knees because I'm old, then I'm going to have everything that comes along with that. And it's going to limit my life very much. And sometimes we fight for our beliefs so much, especially when it's backed up with a diagnosis. And I'm a big proponent of not getting a diagnosis in anything, because the minute we have a name to what we're feeling, we give ourselves the out on getting better. We look at the statistics, we look at, how many people in my age group can do this? Or what are people that have this problem? What are they able to do? Or what are they not able to do? And then the minute I can't do it, I say, oh yeah, well, I'm just like all these other people. So we get this reinforcement. And the most important thing is to realize that our limitations in everything that we do start here. I'm limited by my thoughts, my mind. I'm not limited by what I can do in my life. I'm more limited by the thoughts that go into my head than anything else. If I believe that, I'm just not smart enough to get a better job, I won't ever get a better job. I won't put myself in situations to be disappointed, or I reinforce it so much that the minute I apply for that first job and I don't get it, I'm going, see, I was right, and we back it up with everything that we can because we're fighting to keep our limitations. Because to realize that we're not limited but not doing is too scary sometimes of our proposition. And so this meditation is designed to help us get rid of some of our limiting beliefs. So one of the first things that we are able to do in meditation is visualize ourselves without limits. So if I have, economic limitations, if I have physical limitations, in my meditation, I can start to practice and cultivate this vision of myself with no limits, with no limitations. And the biggest thing to making a change in our life is to have a stronger inner vision. If I can have a stronger inner vision than the external reminders, whispers, and sometimes shouts, that inner structure is going to be more powerful than the outer structure. But I also have to limit my exposure with all the people that are going to tell me you can't, with myself. And so the second step is recognizing my thought patterns about the situation, starting to be aware, what am I constantly saying to myself? So I had a friend that she had, got a divorce, and, she decided to go on, one of the social media dating sites, and she put her profile on, and, she was a little heavy, and she wasn't very pretty, and she didn't have a good job, and, she had all these other reasons that didn't make her a great catch. So she said over and over and over again to herself. Nobody else said that to her. That was her language to herself. And every time she didn't meet somebody, she reinforced the fact that she couldn't, she wasn't pretty enough, she wasn't smart enough, she wasn't thin enough, she didn't make enough money, until she started changing her thought patterns and learned to think of herself without limitations. And when she started doing that, other people saw that. And she ended up meeting a great person because he saw what she started to see. But if we reinforce what we think are our limiting beliefs, we show the world that is our limiting beliefs as well. And we limit what our life can be like. And, that last step is to stop listening to the voices sometimes in your head. We can have the thoughts, and trying to stop a thought is really challenging, but we don't have to listen to them. And we don't have to listen to other people, because a lot of times people want to express to us their limiting beliefs. So I find this particularly with people that get a diagnosis and they go on a group. And group support can be really helpful, but it can also be a huge hindrance, because what group support does is it reinforces why everyone in the group can't do more. And a lot of times a group will take on that kind of a mentality instead of showing all the ways that people with this particular diagnosis can live a very rich and fulfilling life without limitations. Most groups don't take on that, kind of a platform, and it ends up being a support group for why my life is less than everyone else's. So getting rid of what is binding us, what is possessing us. So I want you to come into a comfortable seated pose and close your eyes for a moment and just ask yourself, am I as comfortable as I can be? And if you're not, adjust your posture. And you can lie down with this. All you need to do is hear my voice. You don't need to see me. So finding yourself as comfortable as you can be. And softly closing the eyes. And start to soften the face. And soften the parts of your body. And just notice how your body feels at this moment. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And finding a softness to your breath. And just start to notice how every breath is unique. No breath is the same as the other breath. Maybe noticing the length and the quality of your inhale, the duration of your exhale, and how it changes. It changes the body. It changes maybe in its duration, its comfortableness, how the body feels. And then I want you to go back to that story about the monkey, where the monkeys would hold on to the bananas. And I want you to picture yourself in front of this cage and maybe reaching your hands through the bars and holding on to the banana. And knowing that something is coming and I need to let go of it. And I want you to see if you can notice if the banana changes into whatever you're holding on to, whatever you might be afraid of letting go. It might be just life as you've known it. It might be I'm running away from technology or the change in our society. But start to recognize, what am I holding on to very tightly? It might be my problems. It might be my children. My limitations. And all of us have something that we're kind of holding on to. And then see if you can start to let it go. Slipping your hand back through the bar. And seeing that it's just a thing. It can stay there, and I'm the same. I'm okay letting go. And then I want you to picture yourself just sitting quietly in any place that feels really good. This might be your house, this might be outside, this might be you visualize yourself next to a pond or the ocean or a beach or whatever thought comes to mind, but someplace that's tranquil. and peaceful. And I want you to picture whatever your problem is, or whatever you're holding on to tightly, whatever maybe your limiting belief is. What I think I can't do. What I think I can't move beyond. And I want you to picture yourself without limits. And this might mean, if you have physical limitations, that you have no physical limitations. Maybe even picture yourself getting up and moving around in a way that your body would not normally be able to move. If it's financial limitations, and you're holding on to that sense of lack in your life, that you can do anything, buy anything, go anywhere. If it's age, again, seeing yourself without any limitations. It might be intelligence. It might be breath. It might be a number of different things, but picture yourself with no limitations, moving and acting and performing in a way that you normally wouldn't be able to perform. And start to cultivate this strong inner vision of yourself. And again, you are limited by nothing. And breathe in how freeing and how amazing that feels. Now, as you hear the voices in your head, as things start to wander in and out, just start to recognize the language, the frequency of the voices and what you are saying to yourself. And start to think about, what am I telling myself repetitively to enforce this feeling of lack and limitless? And the only way to come out of limiting beliefs is with unlimited beliefs. And start visualizing more yourself without limits, yourself with no boundaries. And again, you might hear those voices. You might hear yourself in this way, but not necessarily listening to it as you're there. And I have a choice to hear or not hear the voices in my head. And I also have a choice not to limit or not to hear the limiting comments of other people, the limited information that sometimes I hear and see on social media, in the news. Remembering that a lot of times what I'm hearing is being reported to grab my attention. And the negative often grabs more than the positive, so the negative is reinforced. And so going back now to your thoughts about yourself. realizing that you are a being without limits, and that you have been limiting yourself. And I want you to picture yourself in a place that brings you happiness and joy. And again, this might be in a beautiful building, this might be in a crowded area that you love, this might be at the beach. But I want you to picture yourself just sitting. And wherever you are, out of the blue, this letter materializes in front of you. Maybe it drops from the sky. Maybe it presents itself in a home that you're in. Wherever you are, this letter is addressed to you. And this letter is from your future self. And picture yourself opening this letter, and in the letter you write to yourself, everything in your future is going to be okay. Everything that you see in front of you that seems a little scary and a little unsure is all going to work out. Every unknown area in your life, the way it turns out is for your greater happiness. You are going to be okay. I want you to know your future self is saying that your life turns out beautifully, that you are limited and you are bound by nothing. And the things that you thought were going to be bad ended up being the best moments of your life. So don't be afraid. It's all going to turn out okay. And picture yourself reading this letter. And that you know your future self is telling you that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out for your greatest happiness, and that you were limited by nothing. And know that you are limited by nothing. And so allowing yourself to letting go of your limiting beliefs, of those things that hold you back, and keep working and cultivating your practice and your image of yourself. And again, being bound by nothing. Feel yourself, this new form, take shape. And breathing in your new strength, your new connection to this future, better, amazing self. That I don't have to be afraid of what I don't understand. That I know it's all going to be okay. And I don't have to be limited by what I think is holding me back. Because I am limitless. as long as my mind keeps cultivating this strong inner being. And so feel free to stay here for as long as you'd like, or slowly start to open your eyes. And keep working on those thoughts. And remember, a thought is not a fact. A thought is just a thought. And the more I watch my thoughts, the more you are in control of who you're telling yourself you are. Be your biggest champion, and don't let anyone else hold you back by what they say your limiting beliefs are, because people want to pull you down so it builds them up. And sometimes they don't realize they're doing it. They think they're being helpful, but they're being fearful as well. And they're, imprinting that fear on you and limiting you. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to take that. So keep working on this. It's such an important area. And right now with this very unknown time in our world, it's going to be more important because we are going to go through so many changes. I believe for the better. I believe that we are all going to come out of this just so much stronger. But we have the opportunity right now to do this deep work. And so as you have this time, do this deep work. Find out, what am I limited to? What are my limiting beliefs? And go through and picture your future self telling you that you're going to come out of this and you're going to be amazing and great. And you can keep cultivating this stronger inner self. The true 1% of the world are not limited. They don't see themselves in limitations. The smart, the elite, the very wealthy, they see themselves without limitations. And that doesn't mean we have to be greedy. It doesn't mean we have to be ruthless. It means that we don't limit anything we do. That can be my ability to help other people. If I see myself, I'm not really good at this. I'm not good at technology. I don't look good on film. I don't have this. I'm not going to be able to change the world. And each one of us can change the world, and we can change ourselves. To change the world, it starts with yourself. So keep working on this. I hope you have a beautiful Monday. Love every one of you. I know we're going to get through this. If you have any questions for me, any way I can help you, please reach out to me and let me know. If you're able to donate for any of these, I have information on my site to be able to do that. If not, please share it. I have a YouTube page where I have all my videos on there, so you can go to Bending Light Yoga. Be sure to subscribe and like, and hopefully I will see you again on Wednesday. All right, namaste.